Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Skader Things. I am Obby, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, as always, Blue and Evan. How are you two doing?
Hello.
Hello. We are definitely
well.
not making up for me not pressing record. Oh, hi, Lamb. Why is Lamb here? Wait a minute, we didn't schedule you today.
Lamb. Oh my god, do we get to hear Lamb speak today?
Are we here?
Lamb?
Oh my god.
Lamb?
Lamb.
Oh.
It's not your turn. It's not your turn today. Get back in line.
Yes, it
You're
is.
after it.
Actually, no, it's Owlie.
Oh, it's Owlie.
Lamb.
Whoa, it's like we
Oh my god, did you guys
did
see
this
that?
already.
Did you guys see that? It's Owlie. It was not, you thought it was Lamb. You were looking, you thought it was Lamb, you got
Why couldn't we
excited.
cut this
But
out again?
no. But no, it was Owlie all along. Whoa, did you see
Ellie,
that?
you know what to
Did you
say.
see that
Tell
epic
Evan where to
Let's
sit.
Play moment?
Okay, come on,
Whoa.
sit now. Come on, sit, sir.
Sit,
Hey,
boy.
Allie is a
Sit, boy.
very
boy.
big fan. Allie knew where to sit before I even told them to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know Allie
Yeah.
watches our podcast, okay?
That's right.
Yeah.
Ah.
Owlie is an expert of this whole thing.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, because we are totally not making up for anything, I just want it to be known we are definitely in 2025 right now. The same time that you guys are all seeing this episode.
Happy New
It's
Year.
totally
New
not
Year.
2024 still when we're
No,
recording.
no, we're not in 2024 at
We
all.
made it, but we're not sure if we made it. We'll know if this episode actually gets released if we actually made it.
Yeah, it depends on if it's
Thinking
recording this
positive.
time.
And
That's
also,
true.
we also could use some physics bullshit and explain that time is actually completely irrelevant and doesn't make sense anyway. So really, is it ahead of the time or behind the time, or does it even matter? So there's no debate on when we're recording this. Really, we're just recording it when we're recording it, and you're
don't know
watching
what
it
time
whenever you're
is.
watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, time is fake.
Imagine
It is
thinking time
January 10th,
exists.
the same day that you are watching this.
That's
Yeah.
right. Hi.
We do all these episodes in one day.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
we
how
do.
was your guys' Christmas?
Oh, it was so
Did you get what you
good.
wanted?
I got $1 million
did-
somehow. It was so
Did
great.
you finally get a girlfriend, Evan? Did Santa bring you a girl?
I must say he came in clutch, and he did in fact leave me a girlfriend in the
Is it
mail.
Leanne?
I
Did she bring her
opened it.
sausage?
Unfortunately, she couldn't make it. I did get a love note from her though. That was quite
Aw.
exotic.
Aw.
But no,
Aw.
alas, it was not to be. But I did get a girl who was delivered in the mail by Santa. He said, "Evan, I brought you some company this year. Merry Christmas." And I was
Well,
like,
don't
"Wow."
pop this one.
Yeah. Well, because we are totally doing this from scratch and we have not said anything about this podcast at all yet, I want to say that Evan has been ruining my life, especially my dating life recently.
Oh,
Mm.
no, really? Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did he
Yeah,
ruin it this time?
Completely original. So, as we stated before in the Rin episode, I am currently single and I do use dating apps just because that's the only way you can meet people nowadays, unfortunately. Wish it wasn't the case, but it is. And I found a girl who I thought was very cute, very attractive, was nerdy, had dye hair, had piercings, and I'm not like a person who likes
Whoa.
piercings all that much, but like their piercings were really cute.
Oh, she had piercings, Obby. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, she was really cute and everything. And then unfortunately, because Evan has been impacting my life so much recently,
Yeah.
she ends up being a rock climber.
Oh, of course. Oh my god. This is just the effect that I have on the world. It has this sort of global presence.
Yep, it is
Oh.
very unfortunate.
It's actually funny because I have a really interesting and profound original story that was not
really?
said before. Yeah,
No,
this is the
not
perfect
said at all.
segue. Yeah, so to kind of tie in with my joke about impacting the world and Obby's dating life, there's this sort of running joke in my household that I impact or control the weather, and the fact that I essentially influence the rain in particular. So when it could be pouring with rain outside. Let's say it's a Sunday morning, right? I always work on a Sunday morning, so I need to be out of the house by like 9:20 to get there for 9:30, whatever. And it can be absolutely chucking it down with rain. It can be pissing outside. And my mother, if she's home and she's not at work, she'll be like, "Oh, like, by the way, you might want to get a raincoat on. Like, it's absolutely pissing out there. I was out there earlier and I got soaked." And I'll be like, "Okay, that's fine." I open the door and the rain has completely stopped.
Divine intervention.
Literally, it's completely gone. and then I'll get to my workplace, I'll get inside the building, and then it'll start raining again. And this has happened on so many occasions now, and like so many times back to back, that we've now just agreed that I essentially just control the weather and that I somehow influence it. I don't really know if I believe in that stuff, but honestly, the coincidences are so amusingly high, it's hard not to kind of just agree that I'm Jesus at this point. So,
I mean, you do have the god
That's
complex
that.
for it. So
You do have the god complex, so
Oh my god, that reminds me. Actually, that's funny you say that. 'Cause
Does it?
I definitely am.
Oh yeah,
Does
what
it
does it
remind
remind you
am.
of?
does it remind you of something, Evan?
Does it remind you of
does
like a
remind me of
certain Twitch
something.
streamer?
Oh wait,
Whoa, how did you
Obby!
know? You
I've heard
Oh,
about that guy.
yeah.
He was
mind
he
reader.
How did you know?
I
How
don't
did you know?
know.
What the
was
hell?
at a panel, I
just-
think.
It's like he literally was reading my. It's like he knew exactly what I was gonna say before I said it. Like he could read my
I
mind.
know. I'm
or
just crazy.
He had
like
some kind
that.
of prior knowledge. Yeah, there's
No, not
there's
at
a
all.
Twitch streamer. There was a Twitch streamer. This is a while ago. This was many years ago, and he was very famous at the time. And nowadays, that amount of fame would be nothing compared to what famous is now on Twitch. But at the time, he was very famous and well known in the streaming community. And he was at a panel answering fans' questions, and he was kind of known for not really engaging with his fans. So one of his fans, like who was asking a question, was like, "Hey, like like." Why do you kind of separate yourself from your fans? Like, is there a reason you don't really connect with them or really like engage with them or talk to them? And he basically explained, yeah, well, the main reason is because I essentially view myself, and this is going to sound like super god complex like, but I basically view myself as superior to my fans, and I view my fans as like inferior. So I like to kind of keep things separate from them because I kind of just view myself as superior to them. And
Oh,
his
yeah.
career very quickly tanked over. It was just, I remember just laughing so hard at that clip because he just said it so matter of factly, and I just thought it was so funny, like how he wasn't even saying it in like a sympathetic way. He just said it in the same way I'd tell you that 2 + 2 is 4. Just very nonchalant. Yeah, this is just how it is. And I'm
Points
just
for honesty.
Points for honesty indeed.
Well, either way,
Ah.
hi, Owlie.
Hello.
Owlie, we're so happy you're here.
Thank
Mhm.
you. Thank you. Oh, I love the hat, by the way.
You like my hat?
That's a
Yeah.
nice looking
Oh
hat.
wow.
Thank you.
Are you becoming a gardener?
I am. I remember when you remember your farmer era. Like, I
Yeah.
think we need to go
I'm
back
still
to
in
that.
it, by the
Oh my
way.
god.
Good. Can
You
I
look like
join your
a-
farmer era with you?
Yeah, if
You
you
look like
ever
a
log
s-
on to Asgard ever.
Okay, I will.
Take a look at this. You look like a 70s female gym instructor going 20 more.
Nah.
You look like the like high
We
school
talking
teacher.
Olivia Newton-John, like Olivia Newton-John level.
You look like the high
Maybe.
school teacher who's bringing your class on a hike.
You know what? I like that. That's a good description.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well,
Speaking of
Owlie-
skins, though,
Oh yeah. Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
Owlie, Evan, stick to the script.
Right.
Yeah, we've done
Owlie.
this already once.
Yeah, we've done this all already. I mean, we are doing this completely from scratch.
Yeah, we
This
haven't
is
made any
definitely
mistakes.
not any problem with me not recording earlier. No.
No.
Owlie skin though,
silly.
Owlie is prepared because, of course, this episode is coming out in 2025.
Whoa.
Ooh.
You see
Happy
that,
New
bro?
Year, everyone. Happy
Woo!
New Year. I have
Happy
my
New Year.
2025 skin on, as you can see.
And which we
That's
are
so good.
recording this, in fact, in 2025.
That's
Yep.
right. It's only
Completely
2025.
2025. We make all these episodes in the same day. I mean,
Same day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right now it's January 10th, 2025.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it
at
was
2
crazy what
8 p.m.
happened. No, I'm not going to do it this time. Okay.
My god.
But yeah, we are all in different skins. Evan is finally out of his Willy Wonka skin. Blue
Thank
is in a
God.
pastel by skin that looks fabulous, by the way.
Hi. Thank you. Mhm.
And I am in my Silco from Arcane skin because I'm going to wear this
Oh,
every
those
episode
separate
until we talk
items.
about Arcane. Because season 2 just
Arcane,
wrapped
let me
up recently.
finish up. Yeah,
Okay.
I need
Yeah.
to finish it.
Don't worry, we
I've
will
been
be
watching
talking about it one day.
Frieren, so but
No,
that'll
you
come up.
haven't. Stop lying to us.
No, I really have. I'm just not
You
going very
haven't.
fast.
Not.
I'm just slow. I blame Evan.
We know
Oh, hi,
that.
Lamb.
Hi, Lamb.
Anyway,
Hi, Lamb.
Hi,
Well,
Lamb.
I missed you.
I must say, I must say, it's nice to have a lamb on the show, but it's even nicer to have you on the show right now,
Yeah.
Owlie. And I gotta say,
Aw.
like, it's nice to have you here with us. It's nice to finally have have a sit down and have a full on conversation with you on the podcast. And I think that
Likewise.
you did. Oh, thank you. And you did bring up some topics you wanted to talk about, and so I think that
did.
now would be a good starting
Yeah,
point would be
it's
to
like
kind
she's
of
been
let
preparing for
you.
this for like months
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes.
And like
So-
she's already done this once.
Mm,
I think.
yeah.
I think. Yeah, Owlie is very, very good at this. It's almost like as
To
if
be
she's had
fair,
practice.
though, Owlie is like our biggest fan, I feel, right now when it comes to the podcast episodes. I see
Yeah,
their
I
comments all
agree
the
with that.
time in the podcast, and I'm like, oh, that's
Mhm.
so sweet. Owlie's always
You're somebody who
watching our
actually cares
episodes.
about our stuff. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. I think though, like this would be a very good time for you to kind of tell the viewer a bit more about yourself if you're willing. And yeah, I think a good starting point for that would definitely be like your kind of escapades at university. Is that something you started doing several months ago?
Oh yeah. I remember the several months of pain and
Yeah,
fucking
last
torture. Jesus
year.
Christ.
Yeah, 2024.
Yeah, which was last year.
Yeah, the year that we're not in or not recording this
Not
episode.
at all.
So uni has actually not been that bad, to be honest. Like, of course it's been fucking stressful for the past couple of months. When by the time this comes out, I would have already finished one term and started another. Can't remember what I was gonna say now.
Well, I mean, not that I'm speaking from any prior experience that we've had so far, but like
Oh,
I do
yeah.
remember you were talking like at some point about your flatmates and like
Oh yeah,
how that's been going.
I have flatmates now because I live on campus as opposed to commuting. I do
Mm.
have commuter friends in my course, but I live primarily with my flatmates. In
Oh, yeah.
fact, like just recently, well, a couple months ago at this point, I gave my flatmates a gift for Christmas. I gave
Oh.
them some chocolates for just a Christmas gift. Also
is
more
so
of a
nice.
thank you for putting up with me gift, but it is nice.
I wish my roommate was as nice as you. Hopefully she didn't hear that.
Aww.
Okay,
So
I don't hear any mad
wholesome.
footsteps, so I'm guessing she didn't hear it, thankfully. But yeah, I can say from my experience in university, I was a commuter, but I did have a lot of friends that were in dormitories, and I do actually got a question. For flats, basically in my university, what they did a lot was that they had 3 dormitories, but each one was closer to like a certain facility that is mostly for like a certain school. So like my university, they had like arts, medical, and like engineering, technology, all of that. And they like placed their university, or not university, their dormitories like very close to the facilities. And usually the people who are majoring in that sort of thing would go to the dormitory closest to it. Do they have like a similar kind of program over there, or a similar kind of setup?
As far as I'm aware, like dorms or like flats are kind of like on a first come first served basis. So like, it doesn't really matter where you get put. You get put with random people. It could be people doing like wildlife, for example, or engineering. And they'd have to travel like just a couple of like they'd have to travel down the hill because my uni's on a fucking hill.
A hill?
What the fuck?
I don't like living on a hill.
I don't either.
My childhood house was on a hill. I definitely understand where the pain and frustration comes from. Like, the other day I had to go there, go to my mom and stepdad's for like just meeting with them. And using a knee scooter up that thing was horrible. And
No.
it was a god-awful experience. I can't imagine having to walk up a hill every time just to go back from class back to there. Although you are getting your steps in, so that, I guess that's pretty good. But
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of exercise. Thank fuck. That's like the only sort of benefit when you live on a hill, or like even in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, I've been walking like loads and
You've been
loads.
getting in so many
Yeah.
steps.
I have. Like, I swear I've been
Oh, yeah.
posting a lot in like the physical health channel, whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
good. It's good to see.
That's
Steps I've been
awesome.
doing.
Yeah.
Positive
Yeah.
health.
when you live at a university, like especially a campus, like you get in a lot more steps because you're just walking everywhere. Like even me, who was a
Yeah, it
commuter,
happens.
like I park in the parking garage and I start walking around the entire day. Like I'm not gonna
It's the
drive my
same.
car to a new parking garage every time that I need to go to a different place. That just sounds not smart, in my
It
opinion.
doesn't.
But yeah,
It's the same. Like I think a good way of looking at it is like every single time that you eat like a cheeky chocolate bar, or you have something a little unhealthy, you burn it off by going up the hill.
Yeah, exactly.
hmm.
So who's really
God.
winning?
Speaking of university though, what is your major that you're majoring in right now, Owlie?
So I'm studying computer science, and a lady might think, "Oh, why didn't you choose engineering?" Because I like computer science. Okay, I love computers. I love programming and shit. I love software. I love AI.
Do you
And
know?
everyone on my course is chill, to be honest. It's a mixture of like loads and loads of random people. There was this one guy that I've been helping out who's also a mate. I've mentioned him on Skade loads and loads of times. His name's Amit, for the viewers
Oh
at home.
yes.
He's a good egg. I call him a good
He's
egg,
a good
and I
egg.
also call him he's a good egg, and he's the good one of my course. He doesn't
Oh,
replace
see,
Schultze here.
Okay,
it's one of my
okay.
favorite it's one of my favorite phrases that I'm not going to say it's exclusive to England, but we seem to say it more, and that is good egg. Like often you'll have like a person in your life who's just a really decent person. They treat you very well. They're very nice to people, and you just call them a good egg. Like it's a very like common phrase here.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
Amit is the definition of a good egg. Like, if I could bring him here if I wanted to, I don't think he'd want to though. That's his preference. But you guys would see him as like a good egg. I
I
definitely
would
Mhm.
think
see
you
him as
would.
a good egg. Can I crack him
Yes,
open and make
him as-
him an omelet?
oh fucking what?
That is the worst joke I've ever heard.
That was so bad.
What do you mean?
That was so bad, man.
And you were the one talking about how he's so excellent.
Yeah, well, it's because he's a good egg at what he does. Jeez.
Oh wow. Well, that's a
Wow.
terrible, terrible.
Meow.
That's just the wow.
Well,
Meow.
either way,
Meow.
going off of computer
Wow.
science, I actually do have a little bit of experience in that. Mainly because my degree, or when I was in college, I will put in preference that I did drop out of college. I went for computer engineering, and computer engineering obviously does overlap a lot with computer science. Basically, at the end of the day, a computer engineer, software engineer, is very similar to someone who does computer science. Yes, there are specific differences, but like, let's be honest, you two are like of the same boat. But I will say I didn't focus much on software. I was always more of a hardware kind of person who likes to design stuff and things. Uh, but when it came to programming, that I will say, like, going in for my first year of engineering, it was very straightforward. Like, it felt like I actually knew how to code and program, which, to be fair, I did. I knew how to do C sharp for a little bit. I cannot use C sharp at all now. I'll just say that straight fact. But it was definitely like one of those things that, at least for in my opinion, that computer engineering is extremely easy the first year, in my opinion. And then as soon as you get into sophomore year and you start applying like physics and stuff, it becomes way harder because you have to change your whole entire mindset. So is there like anything that you have you felt like it's been easy for computer science recently?
I mean, depending on the definition of easy, Obby.
Mm-hmm. They're
The
gonna give you
definition
that.
of easy is a difficulty mode in Minecraft.
My God.
Okay,
There's
well,
no-
like,
how many mobs are spawning when you do
How
your
many
coding?
mobs are
so many
spawning?
mobs
Now?
are spawning. Well, my programming classes have like at least hundreds, if not thousands, of mobs just fucking spawn the code, you know. And of course, comp sci isn't just programming. Like we've got an information management unit, for example, which is essentially just fucking databases, right? Who would
Mhm.
have thought? Databases. fuck databases. I can't do databases. I hate databases. I wish databases weren't a thing.
I
Anyone
understand you wholeheartedly right now.
doing anyone who's in a data analyst position right now, oh my god, man, how? How?
Databases
Um,
killed my motivation to continue college almost. To be fair, it was physics more than that, but like databases, I hate them so much. It's like
Yeah.
I'm glad there are people who can do those. Those are not for me though. But anyways,
Yeah.
another thing I do want to actually talk on is that I personally in college made a lot of friends who were female majors in STEM, so science, technology, engineering, math, and I wanted to ask if you have any things or stories you want to talk about of like being a female in STEM, or is that just something you haven't really been brought up yet? I'm assuming because you're in a male-dominated space usually. So
yeah. It's funny because like the majority of my class are males, obviously mostly international students, of course.
Oh
There
yeah.
are a couple of like female students. I think there's like, including myself, there might be like four, at least four. I haven't seen any more than like four females in that
that's
room at a
crazy.
time. Which is weird because most of my teachers for the first term were actually female.
Mm,
So crazy.
that is crazy. It is definitely
Oh,
one of those things where like you at least from my experience, and I mean, to be fair, I am a white male, so, but
mm,
from what I have noticed and seen, it is very, how do I put this? Very promiscuous, when it come to engineering, at least in my school, because a lot of the uh, a lot of the males in my class were just not well equipped for communication with females in the
Yeah.
slightest whatsoever. And it
The
always felt
antithesis
like
of it.
whenever I saw them interact with a female, I felt so bad for them sometimes because it's just like, dude, you sound like you're hitting on them when you aren't trying to at all. It sounds like, oh, I could talk about this, but I feel very uncomfortable talking about this as a white male because it feels like something I shouldn't talk about. But like, this is just a reality, at least from my university experience, that like men in STEM majors sometimes do not know how to properly communicate with a female.
some of them don't. I have a really weird fucking story.
Oh,
Tell
do you
it.
know?
We like weird
Ooh.
stories.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So there's this one guy, who I met on induction day. I will not say his name just for
Mhm.
privacy reasons.
John.
Yeah, John. He
We'll
actually
call him
looks like a
John.
John. Good old John. Anyway, so we were like getting along and stuff, and I was like, oh, this guy seems like a really nice friend. We
Mm,
filmed a couple of TikToks together, based on just an introductory lesson that my lecturers made up.
hmm
Fast forward a couple of days. This was like 2 weeks into the thing. He calls me up and goes, "Hey, I need to tell you something." It's like, "Oh, okay." And then he tries to tell me that he wants to ask me on a date, and it takes him like an hour.
Aw.
And I'm like, dude, I really appreciate you as a friend, man. I'm sorry. It's like I didn't want to like say no because I knew what he was asking. Because it took him a while. I just wanted to calm him down as much as
yeah.
possible.
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
fine.
And
Poor
because it's
John.
like, poor John. Like, it's so hard in
You
those
got a dear
scenarios.
John.
Dear John.
My dear John
It's
Russell.
not you, it's me.
Yeah, it's me. I told him it was me. I told him I wasn't ready, and then
Mm.
I gave him space. I'm still giving him space now, and I've seen him around, talking to people. So he
It
seems
could
to be
just
fine.
be. I'm sure he will be. It probably was a bit. It was probably quite scary for him to do that. I mean, hell, it may have been the first time he's ever done something like that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it might have
Yeah.
just been very scary. So it's like I think it's good that you were at least kind enough to sort of like say no, but in a very graceful way that still protected his like dignity. Because I think a lot of
Yeah.
times like people can be rejected in very cold or very like
Mm.
uncaring ways, and I think that can be very detrimental to that person's sort of mental health. So that's very good of you. And I think I think I will agree. Like the engineering mind is very. I don't want to say antisocial because that would almost imply they try
No.
not to be. But
Mm.
it's more they just struggle with it because they
Mm.
are so smart and they are in such a simple mind of this is my thing, this is my project I'm working on. Their sort of brain doesn't have the same time to sort of figure out, like finding ways to communicate with other people or kind of like learning different like social skills.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
And I mean, I can speak from my own personal experience because uh I was at one point one of these kinds of people who did not know how to talk
Mm.
to women as well as I probably should have. Now, to be fair, I do know how to talk to women. Hi Owlie, hi Blue. I am
Hi.
talking to you too. uh
Hello.
but like the reason I know how to talk to women is because I was in choir. Like that's the only
Yeah.
reason I know how to talk to them. But like when it came to like asking out women or even asking out just anyone, I was always very scared too. But one thing I will say about university is that it really helped me get out like break the discomfort of asking someone out. Like the first time that I ever asked someone out in college was a complete disaster. Like I tried to do it and then I did it through text and turns out they already had a boyfriend and I felt like shit. But the second time I did it with just like one of my female friends who like I thought was attractive and pretty. And so I just asked them, "Hey, would you want to go on a date?" And for some reason, like I don't know what it was this time compared to like every time in high school that I've got rejected, but like it felt almost nice to be rejected if I'm being honest. Like it felt so amicable that it felt just like I felt like no sense of like loss afterwards. Like I didn't feel sad that I got rejected or anything. And I think it's
Very good
something
way of
that
looking
you
at it.
just do learn or do adapt that skill of rejection like the more and more you go with life. Like
Often a lot of it is just exposure, isn't it? Like you just need to
mm,
just go through it in order for and it in fact there's a really good TEDx talk and just a series you can watch on YouTube. This was many years ago of this guy who did this project which he named rejection therapy. And the idea is he learned to get used to being told no by people of different things. So he would challenge himself every day to go up to somebody and ask them a question they would likely say no to. So the first day he goes up to a security guard and says, "Hi, do you have $100 you'd be willing to give me?" No. And he felt very embarrassed and awkward. Day 20, "Hi, is it possible that I could get a refill on my hamburger?" Like literally he's just asking ridiculous things.
Refill
so
on
many-
his hamburger.
Yes, you heard that correctly. And so over time, like he learned to not feel afraid to go up to people and ask these ridiculous questions. He started getting yeses for a lot of things. He went on this flight and he's like, "Hey, like, would it be possible for me to do like an announcement like on the plane? I've always wanted to do that, like where like you like this, like the flight attendant like speaks." And he did it. He was allowed to do it, and he just said, "Hi, everybody. I just want to say that I'm a big fan of this airline, and yeah, safe travels, everybody." Like,
that's
so
awesome.
he got used to it, and by the end of it he had really felt comfortable because he wanted to like get better at dealing with rejection in order to get a job. He was always afraid of putting himself out there and getting a really good job. He had a job and he was a very educated man and he had a wife and whatever, but he hadn't quite mustered up that courage to just be okay with being told no when it came to applying for a lucrative job that meant a lot to him. So this was his way of training for it, and he said it was very effective and it was quite inspiring, actually. Sorry, I know it's a major like not even segue, major diversion, but I just thought it had.
Oh
some
no,
relevance.
we are on
Anyway.
really the top. We are on the topic right now of rejection. I
Yeah,
do have a question because I know Evan, Blue, and I were not technically, but basically raised as only children. Allie, are
yeah.
you an only child?
Nope.
You have siblings?
I have one younger sibling.
Mm.
Hell yeah.
I will say that rejection is harder to break, I think, when you are an only child.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you get a lot more attention when you're an only child, obviously.
Yep. Yeah,
And
agreed.
it is definitely something I did struggle with. Like hearing no does physically hurt sometimes.
Yeah.
But it is just something you have to get comfortable with. Like, especially in modern society, you have to get
You have to
comfortable with
embrace it
hearing
as
the
part
word
of
no.
life.
Mm.
I agree, and I think having a sibling too really helps you like navigate those feelings. If you have a good relationship with your siblings, you can talk to them about it. They can tell you why you got to know. They can tell you that the no doesn't matter. They might be telling you no on other things, so you're more used to hearing it. I think I agree with that. I think in general, having a sibling makes the feeling and the sort of overall experience of rejection a lot easier to overcome. Still not easy, but something that you can absolutely overcome more easily. And I think being an only child definitely does impact that, and it's something that I still to this day struggle with. I'm getting better at it. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable of doing things like that, but it's still one hell of a hurdle.
Only children are rarely told no, or at least from my
Yeah.
experience.
No, I agree.
And we don't have to learn how to share. We don't have to learn to do that
No.
stuff because there's nobody to learn to share with our toys or share with
Yeah,
video
exactly.
games.
I will say that my parents did bring my
So-
cousins over quite a bit for me to learn how to share.
Oh,
So
See, I had a cousin, my cousin Will, he does the same. He grew up like a brother to me.
my cousin was also
But-
Will.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. But I will say though that even though Will and I were together most our summers at my grandma's, we spent most our summers riding around the farm, and then he'd come over quite often, just in general. But the still Monday through Friday, that still kind of normal week. Yeah, I didn't have to really share anything. I just kind of and I didn't really get told no a lot. So that's just I think the reality of being an only child.
Mm.
Yeah,
But it
I
sucks.
think it does.
I would rather been told no and had a sibling to play with on those rainy days when you couldn't
I
go
would have
outside,
rather had
or
a sibling.
I agree.
too.
I would have much rather had a sibling.
I don't want to say I resent being an only child because it definitely does have its perks, but there are times where I'm like, man, I really
I
wish
do.
I had a
I
sibling
resent
growing up
it.
with.
I openly say it. I wish I had had a sibling.
I don't think I would
I
be
mean,
as
as a-
greedy as I
As an
am.
adult, I have them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
very
think-
close to my brother Ash. Like we're very close.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Mm.
cool as an adult we got to meet. But I would have loved to have siblings as a kid.
Well-
No,
Hmm?
I don't think you would.
It's only 'cause
Everyone
the
who's
grass is
has
always
siblings.
greener.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
Anyone who
They
has
always-
siblings always wishes they were an only child, but anyone who is an only child wishes that they had
Wishes they
siblings.
had siblings. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Dead on. Exactly that.
You just have
Uh,
to kind of learn this is just your life.
I will pivoting back to university though. Owlie, you said that you were into computer science and you also stated that you love AI.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your real feelings on it?
How do you really
Let's
feel
get
about
it.
AI?
Let's delve into this.
Let's
Let's
dive right
go.
in.
Let's
Delve?
make it.
Sitting back in my chair, ready to listen.
Well, I think AI is a very broad topic.
Hey,
like,
hey,
Ali,
hey,
I was gonna say. Ali, just say what you said last time.
What do you mean last time? What do you mean last time?
Oh,
I
not
mean,
last
we're in the
time.
future. We're in the future. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a pretty broad topic, like
Hmm.
AI can mean anything from like chatbots to creative films, which is a shit thing, by the way. Anyone who's using AI for films, I mean, like, condolences to you, but why?
Condolences
It's
to you.
funny. No,
Condolences
it's
to
funny.
you.
It's funny. I was browsing Reddit randomly, and I saw a fully fledged AI sort of like sitcom the other day, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is cool, but like, why? Like, what value does this have? AI is not at a state yet, where we can make films and shit with it. In terms of chatbots and like solving medical problems, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pro that. Anti fucking like film and creative music though, like Jesus Christ.
And art. Art comes
And
up a
art.
lot on
That's-
Skade.
It does
As
come up a
soon-
lot.
A lot. In fact, it just came up this morning in
Mm.
a birthday team meeting Evan and I were in.
Yeah, it did. It's something that people feel very strongly about, and it
Very
is a
fun
very
about AI art. Yeah.
it's a very
Yeah.
polarizing topic because you have people on one side of the spectrum who are using AI for everything now, and they are using it as a tool to make money and do all these different things, and they're bragging about it. Then you have
Mhm.
the other side of the spectrum where, like, you have people who want AI gone from society. They take a massive dump on it. They want like laws in place to like get rid of it. Like, it's a very controversial and sort of divisive topic.
It
And I
scares
think
me.
it is a very scary concept, and again, like AI is very broad because there's sometimes we think of AI, we think of like these robotic humanoids who have very advanced technology, but then we think
Yeah.
about AI in the form of like Chat
See,
GPT.
I don't think of it as that. I think about it as misinformation. When I think AI, I get
Mm.
nervous with misinformation.
Yeah, that's a big
And
one.
because it's hard to know. I've seen some videos. There's a celebrity I like, a singer, and he posted a video and he said, I want to show everyone this. He goes, this is not me. This was AI generated that somebody made of me. And he goes, I want you all to see just how real this looks. And
Yeah.
I was like, if he hadn't stated that, I never would have known that was him. And I would have thought he had some horrible hot takes on something.
Oh
But it
yeah.
turned out it wasn't. Someone did that intentionally.
There's a
And that scares me because if I was just scrolling like on Blue Sky or something, I would not have known
yeah, you
that
would have
that wasn't
probably thought
AI.
twice.
And it's for me the worry of not knowing what is real, what is not real anymore terrifies me. But like what Ali said, from the medical perspective, amazing. Like there's going to be so many advancements due to AI in the
Yeah.
medical field, but art, music, and movie, it's going to eat jobs, which I know some of you are like, oh, but that's not a bad thing. But it is when you're that person. We have a skater who's going into the film,
Yeah.
they're
Mm.
going to college for this and they're about to graduate,
Mhm.
and their jobs are literally already being handed away to AI. So I do see,
It's
and I
despicable.
appreciate, it is really sad.
Like
But the misinformation is what jumps in my head first, is how am I gonna
Yeah,
know
that's a
what is
very
real
big
and
one,
not
of
real
course.
anymore?
Like,
Yeah,
when
it's a big problem.
I think the biggest thing that jumps out to me with AI, like I for what I do hope that AI does help with is things like accessibility features. And I have talked
oh
about
yeah.
this a little bit before, but like for a good example of this is YouTube's closed captions. There's a lot
Hmm.
of videos where like, or let's consider Let's Plays, for example, where they have multiple people talking, but you can't really tell if you're deaf, like what should the people are talking because they don't clarify in the captions. But YouTube does have a system where they have different colored captions now, and I think it'd be a really cool feature of on top of it just improving closed captions to make it to where anytime the voice sounds different enough to the AI to change it to a different color to like
Yeah.
imply that someone else is talking
Yeah.
or something. Uh those kinds of things I think are going to be very beneficial. Definitely, I think the worst parts about AI are definitely misinformation, especially in the current climate
Mm.
where like people believe anything without
Uh-huh.
taking a critical eye to it sometimes.
Yeah,
But
it's concerning.
I think
It
even
is.
more detrimental and kind of looping back to rejection in a sense is personalized chatbots
Yeah, that's
and
getting
like
problematic.
assistants and
Oh,
voice assistants who are like made to feel real almost like you're having a real phone call
yeah.
with someone when you're having a call with a robot. Like the person that you
Yeah.
are talking to is not real on the other end. And I do know that like the justification is like it can make sometimes you have better social skills, but you're talking to someone like you're talking to a robot who, let's be honest, has learned all their social skills through like a wide development of people. Like
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think you're going to get as
The
good social
autistic.
skills
Feels
going through a
autistic.
chat bot.
That's how I learn.
it's
You're
not organic.
not
It
going to gain
doesn't
those
work
skills
the
properly.
same. It's like talking to an AI
Yeah, you're
chatbot is
right.
kind of like talking to an AI chatbot is like reading the rules of a game. Like it's one thing to read the rules of a game, it's another to actually play the game and learn the rules as you go. I
Mhm.
have kind of a when it comes to AI, I have a little more of an apathetic feeling on it, and that's mostly just because when you look at how fast technology progresses, there is just no stopping it or slowing it down. Like it's so
No.
That's
hard to
scary though.
Especially
I
with every
it is
Fortune
always
500 company investing into it now.
oh for sure. It's very scary, and I do sometimes have moments where I'm like, fucking hell, like we're fucked. But I kind of when it comes to the changes it's making into society, good and bad, I kind of have this feeling of like we would have seen like especially with like artistry, we'll have seen like when movie theaters became a thing, when they started creating like cinemas in the early 1900s, we'll have seen like the outrage from like Broadway theater performers going, "What the hell is this garbage? What do you mean you can just record all of this and then just play it multiple times in a big screen? Like, what about the real thing?" And you know the amount of people who would have lost their jobs in the theater production as actors decide to take on Hollywood. But we still see plays and we still see like Hollywood, we still see
Mhm.
cinemas, we still see those things coexist. And I think that AI, I do worry, and I don't know what the answer is, but I kind of see it as like this is a futurized version of that, basically. I think that AI productions will become a very dominant force in media and entertainment and artistry, but I feel like it will. My optimistic view on it is it will start to coexist with the things we already have.
Mm.
You'll have Hollywood still doing Hollywood things with like the real shit, and then you'll have like AI. You'll have AI companies making their own movies.
I disagree though, because I think what's going to happen is just like with, Broadway is one thing, but
Time to
back
start
then
union busting.
it really wasn't Broadway. It was more like local plays, things like that.
Yeah, but
And
it doesn't
they
matter
have
in the end.
pretty
It's still
much
change.
gone.
Yeah, they are.
I don't think a movie company that is like, well, we can spend $100 million on this movie and hire all these people, or we can spend $1 million and have it all done by AI. I think it's going to go that way. I think it
Hey,
is
sure,
going to
but it's
be. I
like
don't see it coexisting very long.
Yeah, of course, but but when we think about local theater production and how that's definitely fizzled out compared to how it used to be, we don't stop and really think about that on a daily basis anymore. This is just the norm now. So I think that it's a
Yeah,
hard
but you
thing
said
to
they
sort of resist.
coexist, and I don't really see them. I don't see it as coexisting like it was back in the day. The way you only got your
Of
entertainment was
course,
to
because
go
that was the
out
only
and
way.
do that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and so cinema took over, and yeah, maybe this is just the next
And now
stage.
it's
This is
streaming
the,
services now
yeah,
too.
exactly. Even movie
Yeah,
It
theaters
does
are
keep
taking
evolving.
huge hits right now.
Yeah, of course.
It does
It's
keep
just
evolving,
the
and I
thing.
don't think the evolving is wrong. Where to me
can't.
this is different than, because you were still filling those things with people and jobs. It's just different jobs. And now the concern I see with things like the movie industry, the music industry with this is that you are now taking away those jobs, and where is that money going to go? So like if our society was set up that, okay, well, if you don't have to work, you can still receive an income so that you can still live, that'd be fine. But we're not there. And I don't know if we'll ever get there. So if we can have, AI do our jobs for us, in theory, we should just be sitting back and playing on a Minecraft server all day. But that's not the reality of it. We're not getting paid for that. So what's going to happen is, I'm afraid the rich are going to get richer. The people that own these companies that are going to let go of people.
That'll happen
Right.
either way.
It's
There's
yeah,
nothing
and
that either
then the
you
poor
or
are
I
going to
can do
get
about it.
poorer because now their jobs have been replaced with AI, and
This
there
just
is
been,
nothing set. We don't have anything set up for this. We're going
No,
into
it's
this
not.
very blind,
It's a
and
bad.
I think it's really obvious what's going to happen, but yet we are again don't
It's
have anything set up for this.
It's a very concerning trajectory, and again, and you're spot on about like the rich getting richer, and yeah, it's 100%. If society was well put together, automation would actually be what allows us
We
to
would take
finally
it to our
retire from our
advantage.
jobs.
Exactly.
We would
It would be
retire from
used
our
for
shit. We'd be able to just enjoy
exactly.
good life, but we can't.
Exactly.
So
But we
it's
don't,
so.
because the
But,
rich are going to get richer.
but regardless, the technology improves. Like there's in history, you go back as far as human history, the technology has just always been moving. We've had moments where we kind of flatline a little bit and we don't make that much technological progress, but we are always moving in a forward direction.
Yeah.
And I don't mean forward
From
in
the
the sense of
wooden
is this a good
tools to the
thing?
stone tools to the iron
Right,
tools to the diamond.
Exactly.
But see, here's the difference. We were still using the tools, right? So like you look at like cassettes to CDs, or vinyls, whatever to cassette, and but cassettes to CDs, and CDs now to streaming. But it's not, but job wise hasn't taken a huge hit. I think this is going to be something that we have not experienced in our time.
We can look at, but we could also, you're right, but then we could also look at, say, the creation of the automobile. Look, think about all the people who had to tend to horses because horses was the only main way you could travel.
But
getting
now they do
replaced by-
valet.
Sure, but it's still,
They're
but
valet.
they don't. But do they want to do valet? Like it
Well, but
becomes
you're
kind of
talking a minimal. You're not talking the bulk of the job. You're talking
Hmm.
more little things. And they're in assembly
talking-
lines. I don't know if you're familiar with like car automotives and assembly lines. It takes a lot of workers to make cars and do
Once they're
that.
all automated
So
now
yeah, you
too,
don't
though,
have the
like,
person
I
holding
mean-
the horse anymore. It is, but there's still, trust me, there's assembly line, like it's still very much there's a whole automotive, like we have states that literally are like dedicated to automotive.
Yeah.
And having
Again,
that
it's
removed
like-
would be detrimental to not just that one part of the US, but all of the
Yeah.
US. So
For sure,
again,
it's
I'm
a
not saying
complicated-
don't progress. I'm not trying to get in like a debate here. I'm not saying don't progress. We don't have a choice. We're progressing.
we don't. We're progressing
But
on what happens.
my point is we're not prepared for this when it comes
No.
to jobs and income
Well,
to
no,
make
of
sure
course
that those
not.
people that were in a very needed industry are now no longer
no.
needed.
Well,
And
that's
what do
not
we
even
do
a-
with it? So that's
That's
where
not
I'm
even
at.
something that's not even something I disagree on, really. Like progress, the only thing I'll say is like, regardless of how we feel about it, progress technology wise is always being made, no matter what we do. It just happens. The main difference now, though, compared to even 200 years ago, is the speed of it. In less than 100 years, the first plane that was ever successfully flown, in the same 80 years, we had the first person on the moon. And then it's only been accelerating in technology wise faster than that. We've our technological growth has been exponentially growing. It's getting faster and faster and better. All at
Although in
once.
some aspects, not so
So-
much too. I mean,
Oh,
remember when
that's
Back to
also
the
true.
Future released and everyone thought we would have flying cars by 2025?
Yeah, and then
I'm still waiting on my
Yeah,
hoverboard, literally. Yeah.
Mhm.
pretty
We
much.
already
It's-
have those.
Yeah, but not as good as whatever
Back
his
to the
name is.
Future.
True.
Yes.
Oh,
I was
Marty
like Michael
McFly.
J. Fox, but I can't remember his name is in the
Marty
movie.
McFly.
Marty McFly, yeah.
Okay, well, I think this is a really interesting conversation, and perhaps we will dedicate an episode of Skader Things to this one day. But as we still have a guest here, I think it would be a good idea to segue to something else now that we have discussed AI a little bit.
You wanted
Um,
this.
Yeah,
AI was on their list.
it was on their
You
list.
wanted
Yeah.
this.
This was on
wanted
their
it.
list.
It was on my list.
Mhm.
It is my list.
This is true.
Something I would like to dig at. And I do want to talk about Frieren. I'm very excited for that. But I want to hear about your Japanese phrase. I think
Phrase? You mean
Phrase?
phase, sorry, not phrase. That out of your list of topics, you're
Oh, yeah.
where you want to talk about your Japanese phase. There we go. I to me that one jumped out the most at like, yes, I want to hear about this because I think
Yeah,
Obby is still in
100%.
his. Yeah, he's still in.
I
his
never
Obby?
graduated.
Yeah, he's
Oh, you
still
never
in school.
graduated? Oh.
Yeah,
a
to be
shame.
fair, like I do watch a lot of not technically Japanese YouTubers, but people who are in Japan and make content in Japan.
Oh,
Like I
same.
follow all of Trash Taste. I follow Chris Broad. I follow. I sometimes check in on Emirichu, but like I follow or not Emirichu. No, yeah, I think it is. I follow quite a bit of that like GX plus cast of people. So
Mm.
Well, I know that Owlie likes that stuff too because Owlie's birthday is coming up, even though it's already 2025 and we've already had Owlie's birthday.
yeah,
But
we
Owlie's
already
birthday
had
is coming
Ellie's
up, and
birthday.
they had put down some of these content creators in their list. Yeah.
Mm.
I tried to go with a theme this year, you know. It didn't all fucking like match, but who fucking cares?
Hey, you know what? Your birthday, like 4 years ago, is what got me into Pokemon Go, which I think we talked about at one of these.
Somehow. I don't know
Yeah,
how it
Yeah.
did.
Because you
3
said
years.
you liked Rowlet. Sorry,
Rowlet.
I don't know. Rowlet.
Rowlet.
And yeah, and we were making it, and I can't remember who made it, but I was like, this is so fucking cute. Is this a
Gustav
Pokemon?
made it.
Yeah,
Gustav.
it probably was Gustav. Yeah. And I was like, is this a Pokemon? And then I got obsessed with that one particular Pokemon.
Yeah.
And now I'm level 50 in Pokemon Go, and now I'm playing TCG. Help.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
So yeah,
Help.
yeah, Ali, like to tell
So
us.
that was your
what-
birthday
what-
last time. Yeah.
Yeah, so delve into it, Ali. Like talk to us
Yeah,
about
talk
your
about your
I'll
Japanese
dive
phase.
into
I
my
want to hear about it.
Japanese shit. It's funny. I don't actually remember where it started, to be honest with you, but I do remember
John.
like It's not John. John I met in uni.
It was with John.
I'll
If
start
it's
it with
not John, it was Amit.
The egg, the good egg.
And the egg. No, like I remember watching loads of like Japanese shit on cartoons. Nintendo.
Mhm.
Nintendo is not a fucking cartoon. Obviously, it's a
I mean,
game company.
Kinda.
that
Game
started
It
off-
can be. We can call it a cartoon.
No, it's a game company that started making
Shh, we'll
cards.
call-
That's
Mm.
besides
We'll
the
call it a
point,
cartoon.
though, isn't it?
Ali.
Besides the point, isn't it? Anyway, I got my first like Nintendo console in, I want to say, in like primary school. It was like a DS Lite. I loved it. From that I started watching a couple of like, I wouldn't say it's Japanese based content, more like Japanese like sort of like games, mostly
Mhm.
Mario shit. That's when it started. I started looking into Japan. At the end of primary school, I started learning some Japanese off of a
Oh.
children's show. It was called Doc McStuffins, and they had this like Japanese character,
Oh
and
my
they started
gosh, yeah,
saying
that
thank you. They said thank you in Japanese. They taught us how to say thank you. They said arigato, which is basically the short version of thank you.
gozaimasu.
That's the full version. I started saying that in primary school all the fucking time. I started saying it during lunches, and I started thanking all the lunch ladies, as
It's
they
those
called them.
basic Japanese languages, or not languages, the words of basic Japanese that you like start using constantly
Yeah.
because you want everyone to know that you know Japanese when you know nothing of it actually.
Yeah.
Like
Just one
konnichiwa.
word.
Konnichiwa.
Yeah. Konnichiwa.
Yeah.
Then I started watching some random like YouTube videos. It was like Learn Japanese 101 or something. There's like loads of channels that do that with different languages.
Hmm.
I started watching that. I started taking notes. I took notes of the language. I learned how to say Yoroshiku onegai shimasu, and I've forgotten what the fuck that means. I think it
You
means
just-
like
you-
pleased to meet you.
You
Or
could be saying
something.
the most offensive thing ever, and you're just saying that in just casual conversation.
I mean, most of the things I
shirt
know of
looks terrible
Japanese
on you.
phrases myself are from One Piece, so I understand you wholeheartedly. Like I I do know phrases of Japanese just because of One Piece, because One Piece YouTube, One Piece specifically, a lot of, I know, I'm sorry. You can click to this timestamp below
Yes.
if you want to skip the One Piece talk. I'll be quick. But
Wow.
One Piece,
Wow.
like the mangaka for it, he hides a lot of things inside the Japanese text because like a lot of Japanese words have double meanings and stuff like that. So he'll hide it inside the text, which you won't know unless you read Japanese. So you have to follow a bunch of YouTubers to get like a lot of context for the story, just because it is written in Japanese and they don't really translate it well to English sometimes. So I know phrases like Kaizoku oni ore wa naru, which is just I will become the pirate king, because of how much YouTube One Piece I've digested because of One Piece. But yeah, it is. Japan's a cool place. Let's be fair here.
It is a cool place. Like, I think to visit there is great. Obviously, it
Mhm.
has its flaws, like every other country.
Oh yeah.
But it
Like
would
I
be
would
nice.
never want to live there, but I would love to visit.
Oh yeah, I would love to visit. I know one of my course mates. He went to Japan. He told
Mhm.
me he came out with like 3 fucking suitcases. I'm like, what the fuck?
I remember
Why?
watching Jaden Animation's video going to Japan, and they brought home like 12 suitcases between her and
Oh
Alpha
yeah,
Lab.
yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy.
what did they buy?
It's
So much
Japan. It's
shit.
like most of the entertainment like things that we enjoy here are originate in Japan and are way cheaper in Japan. Like
Okay.
it's they have entire
You-
stores dedicated to just Pokemon plushies, Blue.
They do. They do.
No way. All right, I'm in. When are we
Yeah.
going?
Ooh.
Like it's
Yeah.
insane the amount of stuff that you can get in Japan. It's really cool.
Japan,
Actually, here's a
like-
question. Sorry to cut you off, Evan.
Sorry.
Question for you. Out of all the cities except Tokyo, where would you like to visit in Japan?
Ooh, it's a good question. It would have to be like Kyoto or like Osaka.
Mm.
No, it's not Osaka, is it?
Osaka is one of the more culturally backwards, not backwards. One of the culturally
Wow.
Well,
one of
Yeah.
those places that look like that has old style Japanese culture in it. Yes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so between like those two, it'd still probably be like Kyoto first and Osaka second.
That's a very
Kyoto's
good pick.
Big
And
destination for tourism.
Yeah.
it is, and a fun fact: Kyoto is an anagram of Tokyo.
Yes.
Yep.
And
That's
if
a
I
random
remember
thing that I
correctly,
remembered.
Kyoto
Yeah.
was created first of Tokyo before Tokyo, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right. Tokyo is an absolutely colossal city. Like I've
It
looked
is
at
the
maps
biggest
of it
city in
so
the
many
world.
times. Yeah, my brain literally just like loses like brain cells looking at just how colossal it is. And if there's any city in the world that can really sustain and fairly like sustain like 11 million people, it is that place.
Oh,
They
it's
have a
way more
train
than 11
station.
million.
Oh, that's true actually. Yeah, they have
11 million
and
is
they
like
have
the size of New York City. Japan, if I remember,
yeah.
last time I checked on the video, was 37 million people.
Oh my god, that's more than the
Jeez.
population of Canada in that one region.
Yeah,
And what's
it's
also
insane.
amazing is their train station. There's a train station they have there that literally like transports 3 million people. Like
Mhm.
I don't know if it's every hour or if it's every day. It's regardless, it's still insane. One thing I love about Japan, and I don't know if Owlie or Blue share this sentiment, but I always loved the presence of vending machines in Japan. I like
Oh,
how they
yeah.
just have outdoor vending
Oh,
machines.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that with you.
no,
Mhm.
I love those. Like the fact that like you can just have vending machines in Japan and no one there is just gonna like fuck with it. That's
Mhm.
amazing. If you had those in the West or like in England or like the US, someone's gonna rub that like instantly.
But see, they have a very respectful culture. Like you go to a really like fucking busy train station and you look at like people going up the stairs, and the stairs where people will go down are not gone up by a single person. Like they all go up the up section of the stairs.
Mm.
And the
Oh, yeah.
like in anywhere else in the world, you just
Es-
everyone just goes up all every aspects of the stairs, even the part that's supposed to be exclusively for descending. Like we just
Sorry.
yeah. No,
Go
it's
on.
okay. I
I
was
was
about
gonna
done
like talk
basically.
about escalators and shit as well.
Yeah.
Okay, escalators they kind of do a similar thing. So you stand on one side of the escalator if you just want to like just stand and like have the ride go. You have another side of the escalator that's just for like walking down the
The
escalator because you have
walkers.
to. Yeah,
Mhm.
It's
that's
like
like
the
if you're in
fast
a
lane.
rush. Yeah, basically. I love
That's
that
actually
because
really
that's so
smart.
respectful. If you just look on an escalator like in any other country, um, you see people just like running up and down trying to like get by and shit, like they're standing in the way.
Mhm.
But in Japan, it's like they have one side for like casual people, one side for those no rush. It's
Those
so
that's
insane.
so cool. See, but they think of everything, don't
Be on
they?
the
Like
casual side.
I'd be in the
They
in a
think of
rush
most
side. Like
things.
if I had a partner, like she'd be on like the casual side, I'd be in like the I'm in a hurry side. I'd be the
Oh,
guy
yeah.
who's like getting where we need to go. No, it is like every other culture in the world just seems to just think about the smallest details. It was like that when I was in Norway. It's like that just
Mhm.
everywhere else. Basically, they just think about these
They
ridiculous.
look
Like
on a way bigger micro scale than I think a lot of
they
other places do.
They do.
They do. Like you look there's a video I saw of Japan and there's literally just a guy. So you know like when like the suitcases come off of a plane and they're like going around that big like spinny thing. When
Mhm.
they first drop and they land onto it from the hold, there's literally just a guy who just has a cushion and he just puts it underneath the suitcase so it softly lands at the bit where people collect the suitcases from. That's such a ridiculous job, but that's just so like that's just so thoughtful. Like, of
Yeah.
course, that's a thing in Japan. I just love it. Like, everything's just so well treated there. It's really impressive.
Mhm.
Oh,
Uh,
that's so.
Going back to the discussion of like places that we would want to visit in Japan, I will say that like for me personally, I have always never been a fan of wanting to visit Tokyo per se. Like I would go there obviously because that's like where the airport is for international stuff, but like
Mm.
staying in Tokyo, like I would stay there for probably like a couple of days just in order to get my like belongings and do shopping. But if I'm talking like wanting to visit Japan, the places I really want to go are like Sapporo, which is big for beer and also in the Hokkaido region. I love Hokkaido in general. Like Hokkaido looks so pretty to me and I
Yeah.
want to go up there. I want to go to Kobe because Kobe is like the best place apparently in the world to get Wagyu beef. And so I'm very interested in trying that.
Ooh.
Uh places like
Oh, everything
Nagasaki
okay?
even. Like Nagasaki's beautiful. Even after the bomb
Mm.
got dropped there, they
Yeah.
are extremely beautiful looking. Like the scenery is so nice there. Like I want to go there and I want to take my bicycle and travel just like anywhere I want. Like it is so nice to go to
I,
Japan.
I think that, like, see, I kind of respect that. And honestly, I feel very similarly. I think that to really experience a country, you have to go elsewhere beyond just the capital. It's one thing to go to the country and explore the capital, but let me tell you, London is not representative of the rest of England.
Mhm.
Oslo is not representative of Norway. You know, Washington D.C. is not representative of all of America. Like there are so many different places to explore and visit, and I think that you get a real taste of what life really is like there when you go to other places. So I think it's very sensible to go to those regions. So Owlie, I know there's a lot of YouTubers who like actually like have traveled to Japan or actually have moved to Japan and lived there. Are there any in particular that stand out to you, and are there any that like you regularly watch?
Oh shit. There's loads of them. Okay, where do I start?
Here,
So
I'm gonna ask. Do you watch CDawgVA?
yes.
I will.
Okay,
Oh,
I
I
want to
watch
start there
CDawgVA.
because I've been trying to get this man over here to watch his content because Evan would love CDawg's content, would he not?
You would,
Oh, but
You would
no,
love
wait.
Connor's content
No, this
because
this
he
is
has
where
such
this is.
horrible opinions, just like you, and he also is exactly your same kind of mindset. I
You
swear.
know what's funny? I actually have started watching some of his videos, and in particular his collaborations with the virtual YouTuber Iron Mouse.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Him and Iron Mouse are such a just cool duo. I love them
They
so
are.
much.
Yeah,
They're
I
so
agree.
iconic. Like,
Mhm.
jeez.
But like I genuinely, whenever I watch an episode of Trash Taste, because like inspiration wise, like this podcast, I inspire a lot of the topics or a lot of the setting off of Trash Taste. I will say right now I'm not using replay mod, but like usually when I'm using replay mod, I try to go
Wow.
back and forth to scenes,
Wow.
especially with collabs, because I like the way that they do it on Trash Taste, how they have multiple cameras set up. But
I
like
love that.
whenever I listen to CDawg or Connor, I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, this is a man Evan could get behind. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's always
That's
good when you have
true.
internet personalities like that. Very, very true. CDawg's great.
Yeah.
Would you ever visit Japan, Blue?
Uh, it's not on my list of places to go to, but the way you guys talk about it, it's very intriguing. So I think
Mm.
It
it'd be
is.
fun to go just for like just to check things out. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
Nin
I
really
will
wants
say,
to go
even for
there. I
me,
hear him talk
as
about
much of
it.
a weeb I am, Japan's not the first place I want to visit in the world. The first place I do really want to visit is Vincennes, Italy, because I just love the
Ooh.
idea of water canals and stuff like that. So
Yeah, same.
Honestly, I honestly really respect that. I honestly, I think Italy and like Japan, Australia, of course, I think they're at like very, very high, if not the top of my list, just in terms of like convenience, safety, and just sort of significance to me. I really want to go to some other countries, but for the reason I'm not as eager to go to them is just more because of like they are a little more on the dangerous side, and I'd want to be more prepared for them.
Mm.
Evans wants to go to
Well, I want to go to a part that used to belong.
Saudi
I want to go
Arabia
to.
he wants to go
actually
to
is where
Crimea.
I want to go to Saudi Arabia too.
Saudi
I
Arabia.
think Saudi Arabia and Dubai are actually relatively very safe countries because they've heavily like
Dubai's a
I wouldn't
city, I
say like
thought.
they've. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Dubai is like a city of the United Arab
Yeah.
Emirates. You're correct. My apologies. Yeah, they are both actually very, very safe regions of that area of the world. Particularly because they have kind of they've more started to capitalize, so they're no longer being swarmed by like violence because they've kind of learned that they can instead build their country with economic superiority as opposed to like military authority. I'll just say in the most broad terms. So those countries, as sort of woe as they sound, actually they're very, very sensible places that you could go if you're going to go to that region.
Anyways, going back to content creators, Allie, any others that you want to talk about?
Honestly, like the most interesting one that I found in terms of like, we still on topic of Japanese culture or just like any fucking thing anymore?
Either one
Anything.
if you want.
Anything,
Okay.
anything.
You
goes.
name
If
it.
we're doing anything, I really want to speak to you guys and the viewers at home about the Discover. I think it's Discover Connections. There's a channel called Discover Connections, and
Oh, I've seen this
well,
guy. Go on.
and like, well, there's like a couple of like controversial topics on the channel. They've done so many hitchhiking videos, and their whole goal of the channel is to like discover human connection. and promote that
Mhm.
basically.
Yes, I have seen their videos and they are great. I completely agree with you, Owlie. I'm so glad you brought this up because I would never even thought you'd have seen them. Yeah,
I
they
have.
one of the first videos of theirs that I saw was one where they randomly invited some people that they met on the beach for a sleepover, and many were very distrustful, but some were like, "Hell yeah, let's do it!" Like literally just an adult sleepover, but it was so cool and like I do love the idea that like they're showing that even in the world that we live in today, like it is possible to meet great people and like have some fun, meaningful connections with them. So I'm so glad you brought this up.
They,
I have never heard of them, and I'm actually very interested now.
oh my god, you
Mm.
should. Okay, so they've done like a couple of hitchhiking videos. They've done some ones where they celebrated strangers' birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, obviously there's like a couple of controversial ones that I won't bring up, but those are the two videos to me
Every
that
YouTube
stand
channel
out
has
for
those
the channel.
controversial videos.
Yeah, there's always
To
that
be
one
fair,
video on their
you're
channel
not
that
a
you avoid.
you're not a good YouTuber unless you have a couple of controversies. Okay.
Yeah, I don't trust a YouTuber that's never had a controversy. Although Tom
Exactly.
Scott has never had a major one, and I like him. So
We're gonna
I don't know if I can
start.
talk.
We're gonna start the Tom Scott controversy. Okay. He
Tom
said
Scott,
he
why
would
did you
be
do
on
that
jet
thing?
lag, and he has never been on jet lag. That's the controversy that I'm
Oh,
gonna
okay,
state.
that's his controversy.
Yeah.
He made a
He
my
made a
favorite
promise
video
and
of
could
his.
not keep it. I'm pretty sure
One
he's
of my
never said that he
favorite
would be on jet lag, by the way.
one of my favorite videos of his. It's not really because of the video; it's just the title. It's just every mistake I've made since 2014, and it's just the title is just typed so seriously. It's like I'm just like my brain as I'm falling asleep.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yeah,
You should watch Tom Scott.
I've been trying to get a lot more into just I've been trying to get a lot more into different content creators. Like right now, I recently purchased a Dropout TV subscription to get like caught up on the bunch of just like things that happen at old College Humor because I never watched them growing up. But like there's a lot of channels that like I never watched growing up that I'm very interested in now because they are like way more popular and way more broad scope than what I have seen in the past before. Like Smosh is a really good example of this. I never watched Smosh growing up in like 2011 and stuff, but like I would always see some of their videos like Pokemon in Real Life, for example, or the Assassin's Creed 3 music video. And I'm like, hey, okay, that's pretty cool. Not my cup of tea. And then one day I saw their Try Not to Laugh videos, and I'm like, I love this group of people. I want to keep watching them. But like I've been just trying to get more and more into just like YouTube as a whole, which is very weird to say because I'm already very much invested in YouTube. But the more and more content creators I have, the more and more I realize, damn, mainstream television sucks now. Like I'll like yeah, I could watch all of Netflix. I could watch like not to put you on blast. I still love the show, Evan, but I could watch Better Call Saul, or
Yeah.
I could watch 5 hours of a podcast video where I learn about the intricacies of iCarly. Like,
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
They can be very intriguing watches. I do agree, and there's something great you can have on in the background. No, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I still love
I
Better
think,
Call Saul, by the way.
yeah, I think it's good to have like a content creator you can really identify with or regularly watch. I think it can be quite good to have that in your life. But yeah, it's something, all right.
All right. So I have just been told that we are going to be ending this podcast soon. So before anything, I'm sure Blue wants to talk about Frieren.
Frieren. I don't even watch the show, but Frieren.
You don't even like it. Go away.
All right,
Hater,
so
Owlie.
Owlie, I will ask you: have you finished season 1 of Frieren yet?
Yes, I watched it like I want to say I watched it like a couple months ago. I don't remember all of the fucking like shit that was on it. Just like most of the stuff I wrote for my birthday. But I thought it was great up until they changed the fucking theme song. Like,
really?
What?
I
When did they
love
do
the new
that?
theme song.
I hated the new theme song.
The second theme song to me is way better than the first.
Wait, you
I'm
guys
sorry.
listened to the theme song?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I know the
I-
Fruit Loops one by heart.
I
No, you
have like
don't.
the old. No, you
Yes, I
don't.
do.
No. I literally have like the old Frieren tune on my Spotify, like
I mean,
songs, and
yeah.
like listen to that constantly.
Frieren
I mean-
is. So can I ask you what is it you love about that particular show? Like Frieren, like is it Frieren herself? Do you identify with her? Like what is it that makes you love this show so much?
All of it, really. I mean, like to narrow it down to like a different sort of like point of view. I love Fern's side of the story. I love how she
Hmm.
like grows the character and like becomes like a fully. I don't remember if it's a fully fledged mage. I haven't watched it in a while, but I remember she
Is that the
does.
purple-haired
like,
one?
pass the
Yeah.
exam, yeah.
Yeah, I love her.
I will say for me personally, it is definitely Frieren is the main steal of the show for me. Everything from her character to her design to like the story that she's going through and teaching people along the way. Like
While she
everything about
learns.
her
Mhm.
is just like so impactful to me. And I really love her in every aspect. Uh I may be attracted to elves now.
Same.
See, this
I
is
mean,
why
there's-
you're dating Rin and Lord.
This is Legolas is a thing. So you know what, for me it's the same, and Obby actually like handpicked this anime for me and was like, you will love this, you have to trust me on this.
Mhm.
And I do, and for me to really get into a show, I have to really identify with something. If it doesn't interest me, I just cannot watch it. And with Frieren, it's her. Like I identify with her. Like having to learn empathy and to learn emotions and watching her kind of like grow and develop while like nurturing, or I guess nurturing probably isn't the right word for Fern, like it's not mothering, I don't even know how you say it, it's like watching
Teaching.
her model, teaching, yeah, like modeling for her.
Yeah.
It's
Mentor.
really awesome. Mentoring, thank you, that's the word, mentoring. It's been really cool to watch that, and just also like the relationships that she has with all the various people from before, like older stuff and then current. And yeah, but you're right too, it's the animation, like it's also the
It's
drawing, like
gorgeous.
she is gorgeous, like though just that whole white, like here, it's even my I showed this to Owlie earlier today, Obs, but look, like she's even my background. You can put this in the video.
Okay.
She's even my background for my phone right now. See, look. You guys will see it in a second. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's just,
beautiful.
I know, right? So
You
yeah,
do realize
and
you have your actual name in it, right?
hi, I'm Kimber. Nice to meet you.
Okay. I wanted to make
Wait,
sure
your name's
you
Kimber?
saw that before I put it in the video.
Whoa, no
Hi,
way.
Kimber.
What the hell?
Also
Name
blue.
reveal?
Evan,
I-
what is your real name, Evan?
John.
Well,
it's
either
me,
way,
Owlie.
we only
Obby's real
have
name is Owlie, and Obby's real name is Obby. Like,
we only have a few minutes, and I do want to talk more about Frieren. Because
Please.
I think one of the most underrated. Okay, listen, because we haven't talked about him already. Stark, I love Stark. Stark, in my opinion, is a really way better written than a lot of male MCs even.
very well written character.
Like his entire arc of like trying to learn courage when he's already extremely strong. He's extremely powerful. Like all he
has to
lacks is
learn.
courage to do the stuff.
Yep.
And his entire arc is definitely, I think, the most impactful to me personally. However, when it comes to like characters itself, Frieren is definitely my favorite. And one that a character who Blue hasn't seen yet, but I really enjoy is Sign. Sign is the character who's in the second act of Frieren season 1. I kind of divided up into acts for season 1 because it feels like a 3-act story structure until they defeat Aura, then the traveling with Sign, and then the mage exam. Sign, he is extremely just cool. He's like feels like the most level-headed of the group, and it really shows how much better they are with a group with him there. Which I mean, I'm not going to spoil it for Blue, but I do really can't wait to see him show up in the story again at some point. But yeah, it is a great series. Some of the best character writing, and in my opinion, if you like Lord of the Rings, you will love Frieren. Like it is so similar, and it
And
just
there's
feels
elves.
like yes, there's hot elves. It's a beautiful series. That's
It's
the
like
best I can say
1,000
for
years
it.
old. It's okay.
The only problem with it is that Owlie is wrong for thinking that the first opening is better than the second, but like we can
What?
disregard that.
Huh? What?
Listen,
The
I love
song, the
I love
song.
Yosobi. I love Yosobi, but like that's not one of Yosobi's best songs, okay? Haru, on the other hand, chef's kiss. I listen to that in my car. Okay? So good.
I bet you do. Oh.
But either way, we are coming to the end of this episode. This time we'll actually show it on camera. Owlie, every time we have a guest on this series, we want them to leave a piece behind. As you can see over there, Rin has once put up a bell there with a sign saying that was Rin. Owlie,
Yep.
how about you add something to the set?
Yes.
See, I was gonna put Lamb's head, but Lamb's head is already now on the sofa.
I mean, I will say it will
So-
probably get removed. Anything on sofas get removed.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna just
Obby gets
hang
rid
up-
of all my toys.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang up Lamb's head then.
Aw.
Fuck it.
Do it.
I'm
Don't
gonna-
even leave a
I'm
sign.
gonna-
Wow.
Well,
You can go anywhere you
I
want.
cannot place blocks.
Oh,
Oh my god, we made
you
it
gotta do that.
Slash plot add Owlie. Did that work?
It should have. If not, I did
Yep.
it too. Okay, there we
Okay.
go. Yay, Ellie.
Alright, what am I putting?
This is gonna just be
Wing.
that wall.
Let's
Yeah, we need
go.
some more love on that wall and the background wall.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
we
fine with
need
them
more
placing it
love.
anywhere.
You'll
We
get that
really
one from
do.
my future guests, don't worry.
That is true.
So
We're
We
gonna have a
have
lot of
Owlies
guests
on
in the
again in
future.
3 years.
3rd of the 12th, 2024.
Whoa, you
We
mean
can cut out,
I
we're
mean,
gonna cut out
January
hers, we'll cut out
10th,
hers.
2025.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
12. Just add like 2025 to that.
We did it. We made it through. Woo!
Yay.
You. Thank you. Thank you
Funny.
so much.
You're welcome. I brought it back. You're welcome.
It'd be funny if like you know, I'm actually dead by the time this episode gets released, and so you just
That would be funny.
and so like you're just listening to like my last official words ever publicly released, and I'm just talking about fucking like Japan and like AI and all that stuff.
I know.
Your
Wouldn't wa-
usuals, Chinese history, all your
Wouldn't want
usuals.
anything
Mhm.
else.
Yes, Owlie. Owlie,
you go.
wow. Yes, I love it.
Well,
Either
God.
way,
Wow.
I think that is the end of this episode. Lamb's head looks very beautiful up there, especially
love
with
it.
the
I
Christmas
love
Santa.
theme.
Yeah, the Santa head. Even though it's not Christmas time. It's
It's
not.
not Christmas time.
Uh,
It's past Christmas, guys.
Santa lamb is great. Santa lammy.
Well, either way, it's time for this episode to come to a close. Thank you for watching, everyone. Please like, comment, subscribe, or don't if you didn't like this episode. If you hate our guts, please
Wow.
dislike.
Well,
Wow.
don't hate Owlie because everybody loves Owlie.
Owlie is
Yeah,
the
Owlie
precious.
is like
well,
Wow.
wow.
Well,
well.
Hey. Oh, I can't believe I
Bye.
started this. Goodbye.
see you next week or the week after sometime.